What's up YouTube? Chevy Brother checking back in with you guys with another update video. This video is basically to tell you guys what I did as far as upgrades on the Tellurider here. Um, yeah, we went ahead and put some lettering on there, slapped the R on there. So yeah, this is the world's first Tellurider. Been doing some work on the truck, fixing some of the bugs and some of the issues we had. We're making this thing into a bad little street truck here. I'll go ahead and show you guys what I've been up to the last day or so, a couple days. We've been upgrading and rebuilding and working out some of the gremlins on this truck. And I'll go ahead and pop the hood and show you guys what's up. Alright, we're under the hood of the Tellurider here. In my last video, when you guys looked at this thing, I had them two paint sticks up here. I kind of changed things up. What I did here, I went over to Menards and got some sheet metal here. This is some heating and air conditioning metal here. It's not as thick as regular flat stock, so you can cut it with 10 snips. It's kind of thick to cut, but if you got enough muscle in your hand, squeezing it, you can cut this. Now, if you guys look closely here, I have. Let me see if you guys can see it here. There we go. I have an aluminum plate. Now, where I got the aluminum from, I went and bought some ducting for a residence, like a house, and it was like a duct. It was a square duct. What I did was I cut it, and took the flat side off, cut this in half, and slapped it on here. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see that. Now, this piece of metal here had holes drilled in it, and I used the existing holes to put that screw there, that screw there. My ESC is actually screwed to this plate, okay? And back here, this is my receiver box. The receiver box is screwed in. There's a screw going through the bottom of the receiver box into the body mount here. Okay. Now what I did, I drilled a hole in the sheet metal here. Boom, screw right in there. Okay. So I do have a strut tower brace. Okay. I didn't pay or call up any of those specialty companies that make the strut tower brace. I took a little imagination, made my own. Okay, this thing was just bare metal. I took this, I had some white spray paint left, so what I did, I took this and shot it white, added a few stickers on here. A special shout out to Hobby Wing, Energy, and RPM. We do have these parts in the truck here. The motor you're looking at is a Castle Creations 1415 funny car motor. This motor's been in a couple of my projects. It runs good. I'm only shooting 2S of this motor right now. The battery I have is a 2S Florion, as you guys can see. It's a 25C burst, 5,000 milliamp battery. Nothing special. I only paid $25 for the battery. We're using this battery on experimental. Just to see, how Florion batteries are, because I ran Turnigy before, and I had, but nothing but bad luck with Turnigy. This steering servo that you're looking at is the 2056. This is out of my Rustler, so yes, this steering servo is old. It is used, but it's working pretty good. I haven't had any complaints. It works pretty good, to Tellurider here. Funny car motor. This motor I've had about 2 years. It's been in a lot of my projects, a lot of different cars. It's been an F-bomb. It propelled F-bomb to 65 miles an hour. So it's not a bad motor. The ESC up here. This is the Hobby Wing SC8. This is a 120 amp ESC, 4S capable. Right now we're only running 2S, but this ESC, this thing is the bee's knees. It rocks. As far as the receiver, I have my traxxas receiver in here. I only paid $30 for it. I ran the traxxas. I ran the Run DMV with that receiver, and the reception, at long distance is not that great. But if you're just bashing through the neighborhood and you wanted to get your car running for the cheap, pennies on the dollar, the traxxas receiver and remote, $30. You can't beat it. Okay, as far as drive shaft, I have the stock Telluride traxxas drive shaft in here. It's been working pretty good. I know in my slash I had the traxxas big bone, but the grub screws kept coming out of that. So I went ahead and said screw it, and just went ahead and ran a stock drive shaft in here. So far so good, no problems. Works like a champ. Now what you're looking at in here, this is actually the Traxxas Funny Car motor. This is the Atomic RC aluminum motor mount. If you look in here, I'm not going to show you guys my gears or nothing like that so you can figure out my ratio, but I have a slipper clutch in there. I also have the aluminum sleeve that goes in there with the roller bearing for the motor mount, so that's in there. You guys are looking at GTR shocks. These have the 90mm springs on there. On the back is green label. On the front is orange. Okay. And the back end of the car, you know, we got stock drive shafts, VXL camber links here. Homemade wheelie bar. You know, we don't have that one that Traxxas sells you. I actually took some time, made my own. You know, good cars are built, not bought. And that's what this is. Okay. So looking at the truck here, these are GRPs. These are S3 compound. You know, on my table, it's kind of sticky. Yeah, they hook pretty good. Once they get hot, they hook pretty good. Again, I'm only running 2S, you know. I ran these tires on 4S. They hook pretty good on 4S, so, you know, I can't complain. Got RPM A-arms in there. Another upgrade I did, hold on again. Hold on a second, let me see if you guys can see it here. Is the A-arms, the rear A-arms. These are RPM also. I just slapped those in today. Ran the truck. It corners, it stiffens up the rear end of the truck pretty much. So if you try to turn on a dime like really tight, the Telluride body here is top heavy, even though it is slammed. You know, it handles a lot better slammed, but it is top heavy. And if you take a corner really tight, really fast, really hard, this thing will barrel roll. So I have another body up my sleeve that I'm looking at, we're going to get, and we're going to slide on this truck and see how it handles that. But I'm pretty happy with the Telluride SUV body. You know, with it being slammed, it does handle pretty good, you know. Looking at the body mounts, if you look at my holes here, okay. In one of my other videos, I was talking about cutting this body mount and actually dropping the body. But if you see these holes here, you can actually lower the body here, so you don't have to cut it or anything. See that? It clears the turnbuckles here, and you don't have nothing to worry about. You know, you can have your back up a little bit, and then your front. Okay, your front also has adjustable holes in it. Here, I'll show you guys. There you go. If you guys can see that. Those are adjustable there. So, you know, if you go ahead and drop the front mount, and you can go ahead and slam the body pretty easy. These are 90mm springs on all four corners. You can use, if you want to lift this truck as far as off-road, you can use these shocks, the GTR shocks, but go 120mm springs. Okay, what you can do is use Traxxas Summit springs out here. They're a little stiffer than the 90mm springs off the E-Revo. You use Summit springs on here, it'll lift this truck up. And also too, if you look at the truck here, where your shock is sitting on here, you have 3 holes here that's adjustable, right? You kick this bad boy out here, you move this in, it'll pick the truck up. Okay, same thing in the rear. See that? You know, see the different holes in the bottom there? You move that shock inboard on the bottom, move it outboard on the top, it'll lift the whole back end of the truck up, and it'll lift it up, and you put the off-road tires on here, she's ready to rock off-road. Okay? But yeah, you know, I just wanted to try my hand at fabricating my own parts. This was all done with standard hand tools. The only thing I used that was a power tool was a drill. That's it. That's all. Nothing special. Okay? Only thing it took for me to use was a ruler, a Sharpie, some tin snips, a drill, and a couple screws and some washers, and bang, this is what you got right here. Okay? So I just wanted to share that with you guys and just show you. Oh, also too, there was another thing I added to the vehicle here. What this is the RPM front bumper. This bumper goes on the Telluride and the Stampede 4x4. I paid $10 for this bumper at Hobbytown, USA. Just put it on here because I actually have an RPM bumper on my Rustler. These things take a beating and ask for more. Okay, so that's why I put it on here. I'll let you guys see it with the body on it. Here, we'll go ahead and set it on there. Let's see here. One-handed production, guys. One-handed production. Sorry about that. here. There we go. Okay. Now, this is the front shot of the truck here with the bumper on it. The reason why I put this bumper on here, okay, if you look at the truck, it's slammed, right? Now, the way that this front of this truck is, there's no bumper on here. You know, the little stock, if you take the crash guard off the front here, you have that little nub of a plastic bumper, and it's nothing, okay? So if you're out driving, you hit something, you're going to break your caster blocks or your caster hubs. You're going to break those or possibly tear up your hubs in here. Hence the reason why I have energy aluminum ones on here. Okay, that's what you see, the blue in there. That's the energy blue alloy hub adapters in there. But yeah, that's why I put the bumper on the front. And if you look, okay, we had to put washers on the GTR shocks on the front because when you get these shocks here, I don't know if you guys can see it, there's a sleeve on the inside, right? The bolt that I used, this hole elongated because these shocks are used, okay? This hole elongated and this shock kept popping off the head of the screw here. So what I did was I found a little machine washer here on both sides, as you can see, okay? I used that, took the screw out, put it in there along with the sleeve behind here. Let's see, there you go, you guys can see it there. That little sleeve there, right? So now the shock is sandwiched between the two and she can't go anywhere, okay? So basically this truck is built like a tank now. The only thing that's stock in the suspension is these C hubs right here, okay? And what I'm doing, I might go to Atomic RC and replace these. I'm just gonna see how they hold up being stock, but everything else on the suspension is different. You know, money was kind of thin, so I just said, okay, these are like $3 at the hobby store. I was like, okay, let me ride with the stock ones. Let me see how strong they are, you know, because when I took them out of the truck, you know, they look pretty stout, so we're going to run them and see what happens, okay? Well, other than that, the whole suspension of this truck is built like a tank, all right? That's it for now. Rate, comment, subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and as always, keep RCing, keep wrenching. Peace.